Hello, beautiful people! After I announced my pregnancy, I received a lot of questions about my cravings and symptoms during pregnancy. So in this video, I'll talk about what I was craving and also my aversions, because especially in the first trimester, I would say I had more aversions than cravings, definitely. I'm Happy Raw Rennie. I've been raw vegan for over 14 years now, and I got pregnant in my mid-40s. So about a month or month and a half into my pregnancy, I started noticing that I can tolerate less and less foods. I wasn't as excited about veggies as I used to be, for example, and also some fruit, if it wasn't really good quality, if it was off, overripe bananas or underripe bananas, if something was too dry or unripe, sour, I just couldn't stand it. It just wouldn't go down. I would try to bite and chew and I wouldn't want to swallow it. So it became increasingly challenging to find something to eat because the place where we're living, especially with the whole corona situation going on, was quite skimpy on fresh fruits and veggies. What I was craving was something sweet, juicy, fresh, and ripe, fully ripe. Like one time my father-in-law brought us pineapple, and it was so good. It was just the best pineapple in a long time that I had. It was completely ripe, and that just made me feel so good. I didn't really have nausea in the morning, but if I would smell something bad, or I would eat something that wasn't really agreeing with me, then I would get a bit of nausea. I never vomited at all in my pregnancy. We were trying to get as much organic fruits and veggies as possible. And sadly, the quality of organic foods, maybe because they're sitting kind of long in the organic store and there's not such a great demand, is not so high usually in most cases in our place. And the apples that they were sending us, because we could only order online, we couldn't go in a big city because of the corona, these apples were really hard and sour and just I couldn't eat them. They wouldn't go down. Also, bananas were really bad quality, and I actually thought that I can't stand bananas at this time because all the bananas I would get would be not so good quality, and I just thought that I can't eat bananas. Although I'm sure if I would get good quality, that would be okay. That would probably go down. I also didn't crave no fat. Like avocados, I couldn't stand the thought of them, probably because the quality was also very low, and nuts and seeds just wouldn't go down. Also most veggies, probably also because of the quality. Just everything was kind of giving me aversion. And some people were asking me, did you crave cooked food during the time? And I have to say that usually for many years here, living in a little town, I was walking by some kitchens, and for all these years, these cooking smells were leaving me kind of indifferent. But now, being pregnant and being kind of sensitive, they were not neutral for me anymore. They were actually making me really nauseated. So no, I didn't have no cooked food cravings. It was actually creating aversion for me, and I'm really sorry for people. If you're cooking your food, I have a full respect into that, especially traditional cooking, whole foods, especially plant-based. I respect it a lot. It's just, for me, it was creating a strong aversion. So as you can see, I was a little bit in trouble and didn't know what to eat. And was asking my mom over Skype, what could I eat? I ended up asking my mom, and she had an idea about apples. And if I would think about apples, I would say they could go down good, but they were just so unripe, and they wouldn't go down, these organic apples. And then she thought that maybe I just buy conventional apples from the store and peel them really thick. And I have to admit that this was the only thing that saved me at a certain point. For a couple of weeks, all I could eat is just a few occasional fruits that we can find, and a lot of these apples, I would just peel them really thick. And of course, I always recommend to keep it organic, especially during a first trimester, so important, and your whole pregnancy. And at the same time, that's the only thing I could do, and I couldn't starve myself. So, and as I started approaching the end of my first trimester, I could start adding a little more and more of the other foods and organic fruits and even some veggies, little by little. And in the beginning of my second trimester, all the nausea started going away. So I'm so grateful I survived. I'm so grateful for my mom for this idea to eat those apples. They saved me. And on the second trimester, I could start adding more foods, and pretty quickly I started eating more and more. My weight stabilized, because in the first trimester I lost a little, not too much, but a couple of kilos. And still, I was preferring juicy fruit, green juices. Also, I started making green smoothies. Then at some point I realized that if banana is really good quality, so it's fully ripe and it's not fungusy yet, as soon as it gets ripe, I put it in the fridge. And this way it doesn't start developing this fungusy taste, flavor. Or sometimes I would just freeze bananas and then defreeze them. Because in the winter time I didn't really like to eat them too cold, straight out of the freezer, the ice cream. Then I started finding some tomatoes, because during my first trimester I couldn't even find proper tomatoes, where they're completely unripe and not even ripening properly. So yeah, it was tough. And during the second trimester, it was mostly like as much juicy fruit as I could find. I also researched online and found places to order mangoes, which was like heaven. Mangoes was like one of the best foods I could eat. Also good apples. I started finding organic apples, which were good and ripe. And whatever fresh fruit I could find, some good greens, and just juicy vegetables, like easy to digest vegetables. And somewhere in the middle of the second trimester, I started really craving sesame seeds. I was really relieved that I could eat seeds again. I also balanced them out with flax seeds, started making some flax crackers. So my diet became more balanced again. And the further I went into the second part of my second trimester and my third trimester now, I'm eating almost everything again, and root vegetables again, and basically everything like I would normally eat before. The only difference is that my portion sizes have to be smaller, because my inner organs are kind of pushed to the side and kind of taking up smaller space, so I can't really eat big portions like I used to. And also during these hard times when I couldn't eat such a wide variety of fruits and veggies, I was supporting myself with supplement. I was taking this multivitamin, not sponsored, by Garden of Life. And also I was taking vegan omega-3 from like algae. And during most of my raw vegan journey, I didn't really take no supplements, and I was okay. I was checking my blood, was fine. The only thing that it showed one time that I missed was selenium, so I started eating some Brazil nuts. So my biggest cravings during this pregnancy were mostly juicy fruit. This is number one. It's like ripe, fresh, juicy fruits, greens, also green juices, and also sesame seed was one like really big cravings in the middle of the pregnancy. And now I'm enjoying pretty much everything that summer brings us. Such beautiful fruits and veggies, and enjoying root veggies again. Also, I didn't have many symptoms besides this little bit of nausea when I was triggered by something. I didn't have no aches and pains. Also, when I was eating very little in the first trimester, my bowel movements were not so good as usual. Maybe I would go once a day. And after I started eating apples and other fruits and more food overall again, then my bowel movements became back to normal, and now they're just great. I'm going every day, like 3, sometimes 4 times a day. So I'm extremely grateful for the raw vegan lifestyle to help me to feel so good during my pregnancy, especially being 43 years of age, which is considered kind of old to be pregnant, but I really feel great. And if you have more questions about raw vegan pregnancy, about cravings and symptoms and all that, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of videos like this. Bye!